What is going on? How are you today? For today's video, I'm going to break down a new topic that I want to really cover that I feel like is going to really help you out in a lot of different ways. So the topic that I'm going to cover today is the top 5 things that change as you increase your consciousness level. So as you raise to higher consciousness. So you may ask yourself firstly, what does that even mean? Like, what does it mean to go higher consciousness? So basically what happens with your consciousness is that as you improve your levels of consciousness, what's happening is that your ability to objectively view the world and view yourself increases, and then your ability to really have better overall control of your mind is really the main thing that will change with that. So there's a lot of ways to increase your consciousness. You know, it's a very deep topic. I'm definitely going to be covering that soon, but what I'm going to cover today is the top 5 things that change and that you'll notice as you start to increase your consciousness levels. All right, so the first thing, and honestly the most important thing that I found as I started my journey and got better with this, is that your perception of the world will begin to change as your consciousness starts to change as well. So what does that mean? Basically, your perception is the subconscious, just automatic way that you go about interacting with the world, interacting with different situations, how you act, how you see things, how you ultimately, all the results you create in your life, right? So what's going to happen is that as your consciousness increases and gets better and better, you'll start to notice that your natural automatic perception of the world is gets different and it starts to switch. So let's give you an example. Say you're somebody who's, pretty shy, pretty depressed. You don't really have, too much confidence in the world. What's happening is that your mind is actually subconsciously viewing the world based on that filter. Okay, so the filter you're using is basically the filter of somebody who, doesn't really believe in themselves, doesn't really think they have much value. And then when you truly believe that deep down, your brain is going to find all the evidence it wants to believe that and to continue believing that, and then to continue creating that result to stay consistent with what it thinks it is. So as your consciousness increases and it improves your perception of the world, what happens is that naturally, like almost automatically, what's going to happen is that your brain is going to start focusing on different things. It's going to start looking for different things. It's going to start attracting different situations in your life and making you view the world in a healthier, more positive, confident, etc. way. And that's one example, but really this goes for everything. If you're the type of person who just eats too much junk food, if you're always on social media just messing around, whatever it is that you're doing, if you have a bad perception of the world and how you see yourself, once you increase your consciousness to a higher level, what happens is that your perception of the world will start to shift and get better and better. And then once that perception shifts, everything inside you shifts. And then your action shifts. And of course, your results will shift right there with that too. So that's the number one thing. And that's probably the biggest thing you'll notice with higher consciousness. All right. So for the number 2 thing that changes as your consciousness increases, it's going to be that you're going to start to notice you have higher level thinking. So what is higher level thinking? Basically what that is that it's the, it's a breakdown of the types of thoughts that you're having and the depth behind your thoughts. So let me explain that better. Basically, if you're at a lower consciousness state, most likely the kind of thoughts you're having are pretty basic, pretty, fundamental, and pretty not very strong in terms of depth of what it can accomplish. So you might be thinking about, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, what happened yesterday was so weird. Oh, this guy's doing this to me. This girl's doing that to me. And just like petty level thinking, right? So as your consciousness increases, what happens is that you start to think of higher level topics. And then once you get those higher level thoughts, obviously a lot of things are going to change in terms of your results in life too. Because, once you get into meditation and get into a lot of things to actually analyze your thoughts, you realize that really most of your thoughts are just repeats over and over and over again. And it's stuff that you're not even in control of. Your thoughts are just happening to you. You're not really even controlling that. So you may listen to a song all day and the next thing you know, it's stuck in your head, but you can't turn that off. So the same way that can happen, certain experiences, certain things that happen to you in life can just continuously keep happening over and over in your mind. And you keep thinking about it, keep just dwelling on it, etc. And then that's what's going to keep creating, again, the similar results in your life based on the thoughts you're having. So if the thoughts you're having are pretty basic and they aren't really accomplishing much in terms of anything, of value for you, your life's not going to have much value. You're not going to be creating much results for you. So as you get into these consciousness exercises and really work on watching your thoughts and then slowly shifting them, you realize that as you slowly shift the thoughts that you're having, you'll start to have more higher level in terms of, more complex and more thought out, as well as more productive thoughts of your day and your life. So instead of thinking of, petty stuff, you start to think of, damn, how can I make myself better? Damn, how should I have reacted this way? Was that good? Should I have done it differently? Am I doing what I say I'm going to do? Am I improving every day? And then the more you program that into you, that becomes your baseline level of thinking. And then as your baseline level of thinking continuously changes, it keeps getting higher and higher the more you push it. And again, once you push it to a higher level and your thoughts change, you're going to change, your actions going to change, and then of course your results and everything around you will also change too. So again, just always remember that your thoughts are really just things that are autopilot in your brain, and then as your consciousness increases to go past that, you'll realize that you can really start working your way up to better level thinking, to the point where you can program yourself so well that all you think about is higher level complex ideas that will just make you a so much better human being. Okay, so for number 3, in terms of what's going to happen with your consciousness levels, is that your emotional control and your emotional reactivity will get way, way better. All right, so this is one of the most important parts of, just your life in general, really, but of having control over yourself. Because what's the reality is that most people really have little to no control over their emotions, especially strong emotions that happen to them, and they just ride that wave and become a victim of whatever they're feeling. Okay, what happens is that most people say if something happens and you get angry, or you get really sad, or someone just pisses you off, whatever it may be, you start to just react completely in it without ever taking a second to actually think of, wait, first of all, am I overreacting? Is this something I should keep doing? Is this helping me? Is this serving me at all? And is this something that is productive to my life, really? So what happens is that, as you improve your consciousness levels, the main difference you'll start to see is that you develop what could be classified as a gap in between your, a stimulus, so something happening externally, and then your reaction to that. Because most people say, if someone cuts you off in traffic, as an example, and then, if you got road rage and the type of person to get really mad, what happens is that action happens, and then you immediately react to it. And you immediately get mad, and then you just let that ride out all day. Maybe it pisses you off, and at work, you're letting other people know about it, this and that. So in a situation where you have higher consciousness, say that same thing happens to you, and you're in the car, and then boom, you get cut off. So what happens is that you have a higher level ability to be conscious of what's happening. And then in that moment, you have the ability to have a gap between that and then just an emotional reaction. And in that gap, you can these thoughts can come in, and you can start to say, wait, hold on, all right. So he cut me off, that was kind of a bad move on his part or her part, whatever. But do I really need to get that mad about it? I didn't get in an accident. I'm not dead. No one's hurt. I'm maybe like 0.2 seconds a bit later than for work than before. So it's up to me. I don't have to react to this. And then once you're able to have that ability to stop yourself in the moment, you can kind of cut off the whole emotional reaction. I mean, you may get a little pissed off still, but the more you work on this, you get to the point where it takes a lot, and almost nothing can emotionally trigger you. That's the key word, trigger you, to act out in a crazy way. People could say a lot of things to you, and then you'll have the ability to analyze it in the moment, not even after, but in the moment, and be like, wait, do I really need to let this bother me? Is this really a big deal? And then you can just choose, instead of just automatically reacting because you have no control, like a lot of people do. And then you can just choose to be like, hey, this is not worth it, man. I'm above this, like as as somebody who values myself and values, my life, I'm not going to let little things like that throw me off and really ruin my day, ruin my life. So again, as you work on your consciousness level, it gives you the ability to not only decrease the emotional reaction you have, but also in a sense, get to the point where you don't let anything throw you off, to the point you can have really, really screwed up things happen to you. People can really do you dirty, and you can rationally look at it and be like, you know what, I'll accept this. I'll still take the action. We're not going to just sit here and not do anything about what happens to you, but you don't need to be an emotional victim to things that are happening to you in the world. So that's, again, probably one of the best parts that happens, but that's number 3 in terms of what happens as you increase your consciousness levels. Now, for the number 4 thing that will switch, you'll notice that your resistance to taking the right action throughout your day will really start to decrease and go down, okay? So what tends to happen for most people is that, you aren't really able to follow through and actually do what you tell yourself you're going to do. A lot of people, let's take New Year's for a great example that everyone can relate to. Everyone's talking about, oh, this year's my year. We're getting in shape. We're doing this. We're changing that about me. And then you realize, what, a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month later, what happens? Everyone goes right back to normal. So this is not an accident, right? A lot of people will notice this, but no one really understands why this kind of thing actually happens to people. It's that, for 99.999% of people, they have these subconscious resistance mechanisms that come into play after that initial motivation period where everyone's feeling excited and happy to do things. All right. So as your consciousness increases and you start to really change not only your regular conscious thoughts, but then the more you do that, your subconscious thoughts of what you actually believe, you'll see that the resistance to doing these actions that you say you're going to do and that you actually know you need to do will really decrease. Okay. So, how it really works is that your ability to take action throughout the day, say you tell yourself, I'm going to wake up early tomorrow and go do a workout. You may feel real good the night before, but then you wake up in the morning and you're just tired. You don't feel like it. You got all these excuses that come up, and then you decide not to do it. So ultimately, you let your resistance thoughts stop you from actually doing it. Now, if you have higher level thinking and your resistance starts to go down because you just wake up and you don't have those same BS thoughts that are telling you not to do it, and even if you do, you're able to easily check it and be like, nah, I said I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then as easy as you can tie your shoes, you can actually wake up and go do that workout. As cold as it may be outside, as tired as it may be, you'll be able to eat healthy because you told yourself you're going to do it. And when you tell yourself you're going to do it, you can actually follow through often, almost all the time, on what you say you're going to do. And that is a skill that, nowadays is so rare and so hard to do for most people because they don't understand that there's so many invisible forces at play in your head that are making you not take action. If you can get that out of your way and then stop self-sabotaging yourself, and then you can actually just do what you say you're going to do through reducing this resistance by increasing your consciousness level, is crazy. Your whole life can really change, and then your results will get way better, way faster. And finally, the number 5 thing that will change is that your baseline emotional state and your inner fulfillment will get so much better as well. Okay, so what you'll notice is that you'll start to feel so much more positive emotion throughout your daily life, and you'll start to, really start to feel the wide range of happiness that you can feel and that you have access to. You'll be able to laugh a lot more and a lot deeper, a lot more authentically. You won't be as guarded emotionally. You won't be as, quick to shut down positive emotion and to really hold back on feeling good. Your depressed state will get a lot better as well because most people, what really works is that most people have a baseline mood. Say it's a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 you feel like absolute trash, 10 is like the best day you've ever had, and most people have their baseline mood that they go through daily, and that's kind of how they see the world. How their emotional state usually is. So for a lot of people nowadays, it's no higher than 5, really, maybe 4, maybe a 3, and then if you're lucky, it's like a 6 or 7. But as you increase your consciousness levels, you'll start to rise up higher and higher to things like 8s, 9s, and then like tens even if you really go far with this. And once you reach those higher levels, you know, your daily life and just your emotional state from the get-go, like fundamentally, will be so much higher and so much more fulfilling. You know, without any external things coming in, without more money, more relationships, more, you know, more fame or whatever it may be, you'll just start to feel good as you. And that's probably the thing that, you know, if you're somebody who's been through a lot of tough times in your life, this will be the most rewarding for you, because you'll finally feel free from all the craziness that you felt for so many years, so much time for yourself. So that's the number 5 thing. And then it's, again, something that is a game changer completely once you start to feel it. You know, just make you addicted to this whole consciousness process and get you better in so many ways. So again, that's the top 5 things I've noticed that will happen when you increase your consciousness levels. It is something that, you know, is such a huge part of your life that you need to really get this under wraps, and you will not regret it in any way once you start to notice these benefits and these rewards. It's a complete game changer. So, you know, if you're looking for more information on, you know, how do you actually raise your consciousness level, what do you do, what's the process like, you know, and all the details for that, definitely go ahead and like, comment, subscribe down below, leave all your comments. And, you know, there'll be a lot more videos coming very soon where I'll have more details on how I did it, how the best people in the world do it, and I'll explain exactly how you can change your whole life from the inside out, because that's really the only way anything can change anyway. So again, go ahead and comment, subscribe, and like if you like this video. Other than that, I'll see you guys later. Take care.